Yes, sir.
Hi. A couple months ago, my wife and I were trying to find a movie to watch, and she said, I want to watch Wet Hot American Summer 2. And I said, that doesn't exist. You mean the 10? It's not as good, but it's all right. Recently, Showalter, I think, tweeted about how it's definitely on. David Wayne was on Comedy Bang Bang recently talking about it also. So maybe you want to be the third person to maybe say that it's definitely on?
As far as I know, it's not definitely on. I mean, they would know more than I do because Wet Hot American Summer is a movie that they wrote that I was in, and I know that they've been working on a script for a second one, and the cast has all said we'll do it, and that's, I mean, like I have a choice. I don't don't have a job, so yeah, of course I'm going to do it. But like Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Janine Garofalo. Bradley Cooper has not said he will do it again, but everybody except Bradley Cooper has said they will do it again.
By the way, one of the themes on good physical comedy.
I didn't mean to.
One of the themes on Twitter when I asked people for questions was Bradley Cooper. They're very interested because you have a lovely romantic sex scene with Bradley Cooper, so they wanted to know what it was like to kiss the sexiest man in the world.
Well, at the time, he wasn't the sexiest man alive. The year before, I had been voted People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive, so it was a much bigger honor for him than it was for me. But we made love. It was a weird thing because, much to everybody's surprise, I think, I am a straight man and had never been with a man in any way, had never kissed a man, had certainly never simulated intercourse with a man. And so we were both really, and he's straight too, and so both of us were really sort of stressed out about it leading up to the shoot. And so when it finally happened, what was the most sort of unsettling part of it for me was how normal and unweird it felt. Like, as soon as I started making out with him, I was like, oh, that's all this is? It's just like I'm just making out with somebody. And then, oh yeah, and so now I'm pretending to fuck this guy, and it's fine. You know, it's totally fine. It's just kind of another day at the office for me. I could totally see being gay. Like, that would be totally fine. And then I was like, oh shit, you could be gay. Does that, and that was unsettling to me that it was so, I was so sort of nonplussed isn't the right word, but I use that word incorrectly all the time, so I will continue to. I was so nonplussed by the experience. It was like, whatever. So, I don't know, that sort of surprised me. I thought I would have more of a sort of adverse physical reaction to it. I didn't at all. It was like, he was good to kiss. That's why he's the sexiest man alive. What?
You were on the committee that helped vote.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yes, I was on the committee to help vote Bradley the sexiest man alive. I think he's done. If you saw him on the Oscars, though, he has that cheesy mustache now. Did you see that? Looks good on him. I was kind of annoyed. I was like, shit, you can pull that off. Hi.
Hey, I have a couple questions.
All right.
First is, in the beginning of your book, you talk about how sometimes you have the opposite of deja vu, where you're like, you look around and you can't believe, like, this is your life, and I think I can relate, a lot of people can, but I wonder if you ever have the kind of fantasy about being somebody else, like, you wish you were a rock star, you wish you worked at the post office.
Yeah, those two common fantasies. Rock star or post office employee. I have those fantasies all the time. God, I wish I was sorting mail right now. I refer to that experience of deja vu is when you're doing something for the first time, but it feels like you've done it before. I sometimes have the opposite experience, which is where I'm doing things that I do every day, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, it feels like I'm doing it for the first time. Apparently, there's a word for that in German. Do you remember what that word is?
I actually have heard jamais vu.
Jamais vu?
Yeah,
Oui.
I think so. Is
Oh,
that
so
right?
French? Is that French?
I think so.
You read the encyclopedia.
I know.
so
I
you
think
should
it
know.
was literally in the
So I
encyclopedia.
guess it is a common thing, but I'd never heard anybody talk about it before. I call it deja vu in my book because I thought that was really clever. But I do, yes, the book is largely about sort of how I've been able to sort of learn to set aside those fantasies and set aside this idea, this preconceived notion of who I thought I wanted to be in favor of the person that I actually am. And so the person that I wanted to be my whole life was, you know, bohemian and promiscuous and, you know, a roustabout and just a problem. I wanted to be a problem, specifically a girl problem. But I'm not that person. Like, the person that I am today really is sort of who I really am. I'm a suburban dad. And learning to sort of accept that for myself was a challenge. And when I did it, ultimately, like, I found myself much, much happier.